Hello, everyone. Welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. We have what sure seem like OTA leaks, so this is the extraordinarily rare nighttime video coming for you. I think the OTA is real. We're going to talk about why in a minute. This will be Thursday's OTA. I think if this isn't Thursday's OTA, I'll do a second video Thursday, I promise. But my gut says that this is real. We're going to take a look at those leaks, but also why not do our giveaway? We're going to announce our giveaway winners here. So those of you who are spending your night with me, if not, check it out tomorrow morning. Our giveaway winners for this session are Kertix Lee, Leo Besson, Virtua Butch, Seven Fools, and Mwaza Mali. Congratulations to you 5 winners. Remember that there's another giveaway going on. Check one of the main videos for that information. All right, this looks like the card balance. I went and made Careless make a thingy out of it, make a image out of it. So these are the OTA changes. You'll see these again more, but well, when this was originally posted, someone posted this. And this looks exactly like what an OTA looks like, and I'm an English teacher, and let me just tell you, the words attached to this OTA sure as heck seem a lot like Glenn Jones' words. Not only that, but the explanations make an awful lot of sense given things we know, things we recognize about the Marvel Snap metagame, including things that I just know because I'm obsessed with the game. So again, let's take a look, read these changes, talk about what they mean for the game. So Lady Deathstrike goes from a 5-7 to 5-6. We're happy with the latest updates. Lady Deathstrike created space for this card in the metagame. However, its performance indicates we overshot that mark by just a hair. Deathstrike has become one of the best cards in the game for the last few weeks, and even a top performer in some Annihilus shells. That's right, over Annihilus himself. Given we're seeing those decks overperform a little, we're addressing the issue, both issues by taking a little power here. This is why I think this is real. We all know Annihilus is one of the best cards in the game. It's long been considered one of the top 5-ish cards in the game. If Lady Deathstrike is outperforming this card, and based on the data we have, it's close enough, then all of a sudden this starts to make sense. Sag for Cerebro 7, I guess, but at the end of the day, I think this is probably a good change. Lady Deathstrike was doing a little bit too good of a job at what it's here for. It's a little bit too easy of an answer for things like Iron Man, and being able to say, it's still good, but you lose X percentage more games is, I think, a good change. Next up, we have Darkhawk. Darkhawk goes from 5-4 to 5-3. It may sound surprising, but Darkhawk continued to soar after moving to 5 cost. In fact, it spent the majority of the time since as one of the highest winning cards in the game, often the highest. We've given it a few weeks to see if the metagame would demonstrate the kind of healthy churn we like to see, but after little to no change on this count, we're taking action. We want Darkhawk to continue playing an important part of the metagame, but there's a delicate balance to preserve around having too many rocks. I don't like this change. It is, this reflects something that we knew about Darkhawk. So, we know Darkhawk is super high performing. We know that 3 top 10 players are playing Darkhawk. Lots of the top meta players like Darkhawk, High Rutmus, High Gnome. So Darkhawk has been really good. But Darkhawk isn't overplayed, and because Blink is coming out, Darkhawk is a really, really good and interesting answer to Hela being everywhere. Taking away power from Darkhawk right now seems like a way to push Hela decks, and I'm just going to tell you right away, I'm not happy about this. I think this is probably a good change, but at the wrong time, since people didn't realize how good Darkhawk was and people weren't playing it a ton. Next up, we have Leech. Leech goes from a 5-3 to a 4-2, keeps the kills on reveal ability. It's been a while since Leech terrorized the Snap Ladder. Shifting it to only effect on reveal solved the frustration Leech created, but at 5-3, stats have been too weak to compete with other 5-costers, even with this effect. In particular, Hela's new access to energy gain has meant 5-cost Leech can't always stop the big resurrection plan. At 4-2, Leech can more effectively address popular threats like Hela, Annihilus, Foster, and Cannonball. Besides, we can't help but root for our favorite Morlock after seeing that brave face on X-Men 97. Okay, so the big 5s are probably too good, but this is going to be disgusting very quickly. I think Leech as a 4-drop with Blink as a 5-drop, as soon as people get a hold of this, assuming, again, this happens, we're going to have a Leech meta. When Leech was first changed, the idea was that it was temporary, that it was going to be weak. So now having it be this powerful, I think, is really going to cause trouble. Thank goodness there's no Zabu, so we can't do this like constantly. But it's hard for me to not see this as a mistake. I think this is going to go in Thanos decks. I think this is going to go in Blink decks, and I think this is going to be a very, very dangerous and powerful card. Next up, we have Psylocke. Psylocke goes from a 2-1 to a 2-2, back to a 2-2 yet again. We previously nerfed Psylocke to 2-1 when Thanos was overperforming, as Psylocke was contributing a lot to the Mad Titans percentage. Now that Thanos has settled to a healthier position, and with some future adjustments to come, it's appropriate to revert Psylocke back to 2 power. We're still awaiting the Thanos changes. It was said in a quick update, one of the question answers, that we're waiting for VFX. It's going to be a while before Thanos' change happens. I mean, I guess fine. Whatever. Psylocke both gets better and worse. She's worse in Mr. Negative decks, where she was doing a solid job at replacing Zabu, and having that 1-2 body was really nice. Everywhere else, more or less, she's probably just straight up better. I think this, unfortunately, she's not really seeing play much of anywhere else. She goes back in Thanos decks as far as people are playing them, and Thanos is still really good. I'm going to cover as many of the top 5 decks in a video as soon as humanly possible. I need to gather as many of the top 5 decks as possible from last season, and Thanos is one of those top 5, and Psylocke can go in those Thanos decks, and maybe it goes back now. I think it's worth looking into. It's an interesting place to be for Psylocke. I don't know. I still think I like it better as a 2-1 and pushing Mr. Negative. Sauron goes back to a 3-3 from a 3-2. Similar to Psylocke, we weaken Sauron during an era-specific performance. Given that era's past, we're returning that power now. Yeah, I don't think this matters. Don't care. Here's the 2 big ones. Claw. Old, 5-4, ongoing. The location to the right has +6 power. New, 5-4, ongoing. The location to the right has +8 power. Huge, huge, huge change. It barely topped a Doom and didn't top a Doom and Jeff. Now it straight up ties those. That's amazing. This is fantastic. It's now 5-12. 5-12 is a ton of power. We should be seeing this card a lot more. I think there's decks that are running Doom that would just straight up prefer this. It's been exciting to see ongoing base decks claiming they're due at the upper ranks over the last week. One card that has continued to suffer an awkward in-between spot is Claw, as a 5-cost that's fairly restrictive. Because Claw has a novel restriction and gameplay word, we're adding power to the ongoing effect to further emphasize these unique elements. I think Claw should be played. I'm not sure what the home is. It might be some Thanos Lockdown. It might be the return of Thanos Lockdown. It might be in other Lockdown decks. It might be... I mean, I think it's pretty likely that it's with Storm or Professor X. However, in either case, I think Claw is going to be great now. Finally, we have Ultron. The drones are 1-2. That's insane. That means you have 5 power alone in a lane if you played the drones. If you played Ultron, now you would have 10 power alone in that lane. That's a crazy buff. Now, if you had 9 power when you had those with Patriot out, now you've got 20 power, right? Am I making that up? No, +2. 4 times 4, 16 power. That's a ton. That's just a ton. This is huge. Let's see what they say. A metagame threat in the early days, Ultron's gotten weaker as decks increase their focus on filling each location and more efficiently concentrating power. The drones already have predators in the metagame thanks to Killmonger-related Deathstrike, and Ultron himself is quite vulnerable to Cannonball. This is a lot of power to add to Ultron, so we may need to come back and take some away from Ultron himself. But we decided to do so not to do so preemptively in case it wasn't necessary. We'd rather see Ultron make a splash once more than continue to flounder. Patriot decks are dangerous, and I'm worried that this pushes them too far. I think this is an absolutely ridiculously huge buff. It's genuinely simply a gigantic buff. Yes, it's dangerous for Cannonball. You should not have too much trouble throwing priority. Things like Invisible Woman do exist. If this change happens, Ultron is meta. Straight up, I think this is going to make it a meta card. That's all for this week. Until next time, happy snapping. Every bit of this feels like Glenn's writing. I don't know what to tell you. All right, so this is our OTA leak / spoiler / is this real? I, again, personally think it is. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to head back over here. I'm going to say thanks to my Patreons. Thank you, Abigail Giesland, Mandatory Burnout, Cables, David G. Wingfield, Direwolf, LAB, Fathor Newman, Good Dog Gamer, This Is the Way, Inc., Jane Everett, J.D. McDonaldino, Caretix Lee, Koirei, Pyrofros, The Goat Seeker, Denman Falcon, Doku, Philip Rakovich, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, Rob Silverman, The Bizza, X-Force V, and Skippy G. Tommy Nyquist, Snap Judgments League Season 1 champion. King of Bros, Black Dahlia, The Great Kazoo, Jessica Gamble, Ryan Wood, Kev C. Hoda, Lunacris, Louis Antunes, Mod Supreme Models, Ramus Satala, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Fuzzy Dunlop, Spectrumix, Hoot, Matt H., Mikey Hijinks, No Flex, Ocularis, Craig Sterry, Pretty Chill, Seamus, Spike Jones, Two Ties, The Pirate King Tucker, The Homie Man, and of course Gunny T, where the T stands for bonus episode. If you like what we do here, please consider supporting us on Patreon. We have $1, $5, and $10 tiers, all with some pretty great stuff. Hit that sub button, hit that like, hit that comment. We do a video every single day, and when cool stuff happens like this, we do 2 a day. I'm going to go record a quick short to review a bundle, and then I've got to record tomorrow's video. It's going to be a busy night in the Glazer household. Peace, everybody.